Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing great. Today we'll be resuming our eShop web application which we were developing using ASP.NET Core. In this video, we are going to we look at creating views and partial views and a specific look into the semantic HTML and the integration of CSS. But before diving into that, let me do one thing. Let me give you guys a quick overview as this is going to be part 4. So I'd like to discuss it for the one who have joined me for the first time. So this is the eShop which we are going to develop, and just for the sake of knowledge of the one who have joined for the first time, we have created the foundational stuff where EF core have been set up, contexts have been set up, and controllers have been set up. So we are going to achieve this today. What else? We are referring to this open source library, eShopOnWeb, and I can quickly show you the web page. You can see over here, and there is one book being written on this architecting more modern web application with ASP core and Microsoft Azure. You can refer to that as well. I have also pushed my code on my GitHub repo, so you can access that as well. So without further ado, let's start. Let me just open our application, and if I can quickly show you the last catalog index. So this was a blank one, and let me just quickly start it up, and you will get to know that we have a very empty or very basic uh, view over here. So let's just remove everything. I'm going to write each and everything instead of copying and pasting, so you can follow along with me and get to know what's the reason or what's the objective of using certain things. So let's start. We are going to use @ over here. We can set view data, and within the view data we are going to set view title. View data is basically used to transfer a small piece of data from our web application, from our controller to view. So view data can be used this way, and we are going to set catalog as well. One more thing we can do, this is ViewBag would have been used, and we can do something like this as well. This is more of like in terms of readability, it's better, but underlying it will use view data. So we are going to use the view data, and the model that we need to use is going to be it should be like model, and then the model we are going to use is going to be eShop's ViewModel and catalog, and this time catalog index. This is the model we are going to use. I can quickly show you the model so you get to know, able to recall what we have done over here. This is a view model which we have developed, and it do have a catalog items. It's an enumerable list of catalogs. This is the model which we have already developed in our model as well. We do have brands data and types which can be used for our to populate our drop downs, and the brand filter applied and types filter applied. This is to show if a brand or a type is selected. Let's just do it this type. Let me just rename it. I've pressed Ctrl+R, and this will change all the references as well. And there is one more I would say a view model included over here, which is pagination info. So with this being said, let's just move further. So we have included our model. Let's move to the section. We are going to add a section, and we are going to use the class esh-catalog-hero. So I'm just using the somewhat a similar classes that have been used in the repository that we are referring to, but for the sake of simplicity, currently I haven't included any CSS class. So bear with me, and once we will be refining the CSS, then we'll be looking into those. So for the time being, just think of this. One thing, if you might have noticed, that we are using section rather than any specific div or span. Section is basically an HTML tag, more of a, you would say, semantic tag. And when you meant to say semantic, it separate a specific piece of code, or I would say section from another. So this time, if I can quickly refer to the web app, this top section, the banner one, is going to be nested within this section. And for the filter, we'll be creating another section. So with this section being created, let's just add a div and add a class to the div. And this class is going to be container. One thing you can notice, like container do have a B tag attached with it. So if I can quickly show you one thing within our catalog, within our www root and libraries, you can see with the default uh, project template, a bootstrap library have been included. It's not just included here in the www root, but if you can quickly go to the shared layouts, see as HTML, then you can see over here like a style sheet named bootstrap is also included. So bootstrap framework is being included by default, and somewhat on a similar lines we are trying to utilize that one. So with this being said, let's move forward. Inside that div, we are going to use an image, which is going to be the actual header, or I would say the banner. So let's just use catalog dash title. Uh, the source is going to be images folder, and within the images, we are going to include a banner, name banner text.png. So this being said, we do not have any image folder as of now. So just think that it do exist, and we'll be adding it later down the road. So with that image being available, we have our image and the div being ready, and this section is ready. Moving to the next section. Moving to the next section, we are going to, sorry, just one thing. We just remove this. And within that section, we are going to use another class, and we are going to name it esh-catalog-filters. This is for the filter sections. If I can quickly show you, these filters are like these drop downs, and this button, which is going to post back the data of these filters back to the server to like filter out the data. So if I quickly go further, the div is again going to use a class, and again we are going to use the container. And with this container, we do have a form over here. And let me just add the controller first. And this controller is going to be catalog controller. And what else we are going to use? asp-route-page index, or I would say we are going to use asp dash. For some reason, the IntelliSense is not working. So we are going to call the index action, and the method is supposed to be post method. So with this being done, we have our form over here, and within our form, we are going to add a label. And within the label, we are going to name this esh dash catalog dash label, and we are going to use a data title. For some reason, IntelliSense is not working that fine. So let me just add this data title, and it's going to be brand. So data title is something you can think of as a placeholder for using this label. This brand will be used. So I'll show you later in the video where we are going to use this data title in the brand. Then with this brand being closed, we have our label ready, and within our label we are going to use a select to have asp-for. uh, we are going to bind the asp-for with the property branch filter applied. Okay, so if I can okay, let me complete it first, then I'll show and describe what it is. asp-items, I'm going to use the model and dot catalog dot branch. Let me just add the class over here. We are going to name the class esh dash catalog dash filter, and the select is closed. Okay, with this being done, asp-for is basically, if you can quickly see that if we select something like .NET or Visual Studio, it do have a specific value. So this value is being used, asp-for is used to apply that value. If our like model do have any value be attached, so it will automatically select that value. Let's say if it do have a value that is for this Visual Studio, so it will automatically select that, and when the data is being posted, the same value will be posted back to the model. Same goes for asp item. This is, if I can quickly show you this model, you can see we do have a select list item, enumerable of select list item. So this brand is going to be populated using this. So it to have all the items that are going to be populated inside that drop down. Hope this clarifies. If you still have any questions or anything that you need to discuss, or you are unclear of, please feel free to post it in the comment section. I'll try to catch up in the upcoming videos. So with this select being completed, we need to create a somewhat similar thing for our types types drop down. Let me just click it. Let me just copy this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the same. This time it's going to be type. And this is going to be types filter. And this is going to be again type. And this class will remain same because filter is being applied. And with this label being completed, let me just add in an input class, and this is going to be esh dash catalog dash send. So this class is, and this, the input is type of image, and within the image the source is going to be images again, and within the images we are going to use the arrow dash right dot svg. So let's just close this input tag, and we have nearly completed. Okay, this one is missing, so let me just complete. So if I can quickly show you these two labels which were having a drop down or select, and this image itself which is having an arrow. So this is this one, and this is going to be used to submit back to the server. So with this being done, let's just move to the next phase of this page. We are going to create a div having a class container. Now you can quickly see we have created the banner section, the filter section. Now this content area of pagination and the actual product catalog which is being displayed, this needs to be catered. So we have created a container div, and within this div, what we are going to do, we are going to use if our model do have catalog items dot any. So what does it means? Like our model which do contains this enumerable of catalog items. If it do have any items available, so then proceed to this section. Let's just create that section, and with this section being created, let's just add first a partial view. The reason for partial view, let me quickly tell you. Just let me first add it and you'll get to know. We will be requiring a pagination partial view, and what we are going to feed it, because it will be requiring a model as well, and we are going to pass the pagination info from our current model to this. So with this being done, so yeah, if I can quickly show you, this is the pagination with the next, and over here we have used the same. So once you are like using the same things repetitively on a page, you need to use a partial view to reuse your code. So for this reason, we have used this partial view. Let me just add the code further. We are going to use a div, and inside this div, we are going to use a class. This we are going to name it catalog-items. Um, and what we are going to use, we are going to use the row. Basically, you can see again, the row is part of this row class is part of the Bootstrap library. We are going to use the Bootstrap framework to use a specific row property, the rules that that are part of this class. So with this row being added, inside that we are going to use for each. The reason to use for each is to showcase all the products. So let me just use the for each. We are going to use a catalog item in, again, in our model we already have catalog items available with to us. So with this for each, what we are going to do, we are going to make a div again, and again this is going to be a class esh-catalog. And in the catalog, what we are going to do, this is going to be items again. This is going to be item. And what we are trying to do, again, we are going to use a class from Bootstrap framework. This is going to be call dash md dash 4. So you can see we are using this class. This is, if you can quickly see, we do have our products in a column of 3. So the reason we are using this, we need to have 3 columns. So with this being available, let's just add a partial view. Again, we are trying to use a new partial view. The reason I'll quickly letting you know. Partial view, we are going to use product partial view this time, and we are going to pass the catalog item which we have just pulled. So what is actually happening over here, if I can quickly show you again, each product itself is changed as per the image or the text or price, but rest of the thing, the structure and everything is same for all the products being shown. So we'll be using just one and we'll be like replicating it across. So for this reason, we have a partial product view. So with this being done, let's just move forward and try to complete with this div being enabled. One thing which is remaining, we have our partial view on top. We need to include it at the bottom as well. So with this being done, if is there, we need to add else. So with else being added, the reason is that in case if someone searches something and no data is being like written back, so we need to display something like div, and the same class that we are going to use, this is going to be esh-catalog dash items and raw. So this is somewhat similar to the one we have used earlier. And inside this, we are going to say there are no results that match your search. So with this being said, we have created our view. Now we have two further views to be created because we have just added a pagination view and as well as a other product view inside our main parent view, but these partial views are not yet created. So, okay, sorry, one thing which I missed. This is supposed to be product. So, no, this one is the product. Okay, I just missed it. It's correct. I don't worry. Let me just add a new view. So let me just add a new view, and this is going to be again an empty view. I'm going to name it add it, then I'm going to name it underscore pagination. So with this underscore pagination being added, let me just add this and remove this whatever we have got. Let me just quickly add the model which we are going to use over here. We need to use the eShop CCK view model, and within that view model, we do have a pagination info view model. So with this being done, we are going to use a div. Inside that div, we have a class sh-pager, and again a nested div inside that. This time the class is going to be of the container, and with this we are going to use article over here. So you can quickly see, like over here we have used one semantic, that was section. This is used to denote a separation of one sort of section from other. Like over here, if I can show you, filter is one section and the header or the banner one is another section. But this time over here in pagination, we are using article. So this is another form of a semantic HTML semantic tag, and the reason to use is to show that the content we are using over here, this is sort of a reusable, or it can exist standalone. So this pagination component itself can be used multiple times, as we have already used on top of the products as well as the below of the products. So this is to denote that. For the semantic reasoning, let's just add the class esh-catalog. Now this time we are using the pager one, and we are going to use the wrapper, and again the raw class have been used. Again we are going to use one more semantic thing. This is a nav, which says like following. We are now we are going to have like hyperlinks, the anchor tags. So this nav tells that there are going to be navigational links further. So let's just add the anchor, and with this anchor being added, let's just add the pager dash item. And what else? We need to add another class over here. I'm using the same classes which have been used inside the existing repo. The reason is to keep it somewhat similar to the existing repo, which you can refer to later as well. And if you are contributing that to that the repo, so you might find it easier to grasp those things. So with that being said, navigable, and what else we are going to use? We are going to use model dot previous. Okay. So you might be wondering, what's the reason of using this? So let me just complete this first, and then I'll quickly show you what was the actual reason to have it. So this is going to be a previous, And the asp dash controller that we are going to use for this is going to be catalog, and the action itself is going to be index. And one more thing we are going to use asp-route-page, and this is going to be inside that we are going to use dot model dot actual page minus 1, and let me just close this. And then we have one additional thing, the ARI, let me just remove the caps, ARIA dash label, which is supposed to be previous. Within that tag we are going to use previous. Okay, let me just quickly explain you. I've already explained this. Nav is a semantic tag which is going to tell that anchor tag is following. And what else we have over here? We have included two classes which we will see when we will be discussing the CSS class, but this thing that needs to be looked into. If I can quickly navigate, so you can see within the pagination info we have a string called previous, and if I go to the reference and show you what we have done with this previous, what we have done in case if we are already on first page, actual page is 0, so this is like going to disable, add a disable attribute, because we can't move past further than the first page. So the previous is going to be disabled at this point of time. So this is the reason we have included this, and this will either provide is disabled or it will provide an empty thing. ID is, as you know, ID is just to locate this tag. ASP controller, the controller index that we are going to use is the catalog index. One more thing which is going to be sent is the ASP route page. Over here we have used actual page minus 1. So what we are trying to achieve over here, what is the actual page at this point of time? When we are clicking previous, so we are sending one minus or one less, so this way we can move to the previous page. And you can see one more thing, aria dash label previous. So basically it's an accessible rich internet, or I think acronyms or something. I might not be correct for just calling the name, but the reason to use this is in case if our web application is being used by any visually impaired or anyone having any special needs, so they can use the screen readers, and the screen reader, when they will be navigating to this tag, so instead of reading this, it will be reading the area label, because there is a possibility there could have been image included over here which do have icon. So the reader can't read the icon name or something that might not be relevant, so it will tell them that there's a previous method or previous link over here which can take them back to the previous one. So this is for sort of accessibility reasoning. If we move further, we need to have after this we need to add a span. Okay, so is for span we are going to add a class. Again, class is going to be esh dash pager dash item. Within the span, what we are going to do, if you can quickly recall, like for this a tag, this is for the previous link, and for a span, if I go over here, this is sort of for content being displayed where we are on which page we are currently, and what are the total number of pages, and it also shows the total number of products against the one being shown. So this is something not clickable, but it actually help us see where we are on which page and how many items are being displayed. So let's just write what we need to. So I'm going to use a mix of model dot items per page This is supposed to be changed because this is not item. It needs to be changed to items per page. So let me do it. And okay, so what we need to do over here, we just need to add the items per page, and then we need to use of, again we are going to use model dot total items, and then we need to mention products, and then we are going to include the total items. This is the time we are going to need the page. So with this, let me just do one thing. Okay, page, we need to mention the page over here, on which page we are. So let me just add model and which actual page we are, model dot actual page. If you can, the actual page is going to be like uh, less than or having index of 0, so we need to add 1 over here. And then we have model. Let me just do this, and it will help us model, and then we just use total pages. So total pages over here, and let me just close the span. Close span is already being closed. What else I need to do? Okay, so I have my previous being available, so let me just add the next one as well. So let me change it to next. I can quickly do it. It's going to be next catalog index. The actual pages, this time we are going to add one to this instead of subtracting, because we are moving to the next page, and these texts are going to be next and next. So this being done, we have our nav being available with us, and next being the page route is proper as well. So with this being done, I think we have completed this. Let's move to add the products one. So let me just add that view. We are going to use underscore product, and this time when we are going to use the product one, so let me just clear this up. Let's just add the model. We do have the model. With this model, we are going to use the eShop that models dot catalog item. And let me just add the form, asp controller. This controller is going to name card. And you might be wondering that we do not have a card controller as of yet, but we are adding this. So the reason is that, if I can quickly show you, the reason is that once a person click this add to cart, we will be redirecting to a cart controller with the add to cart action. So this is for future needs. We are just keeping it that way for the time being. Bear with me, and let me just add the action add to cart. With this being done, we have our form. Let's just add the image which we need to display, and in the class sch catalog dash thumbnail. And what else we need to add? We need to add the source from where we are going to pull, and this time is from the model, and it's going to the picture URI. And what else? I think images complete. With this picture being completed, What else we need? We need to have an input class. This class is going to be esh-catalog dash button. So if I can quickly show you, like we are trying to add this product, this image, this button, and then we are going to add these texts. So let me just add this input over here, the button. And one thing which we also need inside this is going to use @ user dot identity. The reason that we don't want anyone who haven't logged in as of yet to add any item to the product. So the user should be logged in. So for this, we are using this user identity dot is authenticated. And if it's not there, so what we are going to do, we are going to provide is disabled. And if it's fine, then we let it go blank. And this is the one which we are going to use, close the class. So in case if the user is not authenticated, this is going to be disabled, and otherwise the user is able to access this button. So with this being done, we are going to use this as a type of for submit, because we need to submit it back, and the value for this is going to be add to cart. With this being done, let's move to the next part. We need to create a div in the class where we need to showcase the name. With the name being there, and the span. So what we are trying to get hold of, we are trying to get hold of the name. So we got the name, and somewhat on a similar lines, we need to use or show the price. So let me just copy this and use it as a price. So this is going to be a price class, and within the model we have a price as well. So with this being done, and the price, we need to do one more thing. We need to show only 2 decimal places. For that, we are going to use this. With this being done, so what else we need? We need to do one more thing. When we are going to post the data back to this action in that controller, we need to provide additional information like the ID of this product, any picture URI, or any other information. So for that, we are going to use input type hidden. So these are basically a sort of a hidden input controls which do holds the value. And we are going to use asp-for to bind the value of the model. So let me just add the value of the model, and we are going to use the catalog brand for this, and we are going to name it brand. Let me just complete this first because we will be requiring a few more. So based on similar lines, let me just add this. We will be requiring catalog brand and the brand ID as well. So let me just change this to brand ID. On a similar lines, we need catalog type, and then we need the type as well. So then we need a type ID, and along with type ID, we need description. It might not be needed, but we are sending it back. So this description, and along with the description, we do have like ID being sent, which is needed. So the ID What else? We need to send the name back as well. So we need to use the name and the picture URI as well. Picture URI. So let's call that picture URI. And apart from that, just last thing remaining, which is the price. So these are the input controls we have. So we have things available. Let's see if it works or not. Let's just try it out. I've tried my best to cover most of the things in a quick manner, but let's see if it works fine or not. Okay, so you can see basically are not a very well refined, but a HTML based sort of thing. You can see the what I would say, the drop downs do have been populated, having the values being pulled from the database. It do have a submit button as well to refine things. There is a next. If I click on the next, you can see we are moving to the next. For some reason, the previous and next are visible at the same time. That we need to figure out because there is something, some issue over here. So with this being done, let's move further, try to refine things a bit more. What I'm going to do over here, I'm going to copy the pictures from the repository folder and images from the repository folder as well. So let me just copy. Okay, so I'm going to paste the pictures folder which I have copied from the existing repo, and it do contains the somewhat similar images which I've been showing you over the time. And the second thing I need to copy is the image within the www folder. I'm going to paste the images one. So images have been pulled. So let's see what does it bring. So let's just try to open it up. You can see some of the pictures have been pulled and the rest of the things are remaining. So let's move further and see what is the missing piece. One thing we need to do, if you can quickly recall, within the service class, we do have a compose picture method. So within the compose picture method, we need to set the base URL. I should have copied the base URL, but let me do it again. Let me just copy this base URL. Then we are going to use it over here. Just remove this forward slash. And with this being done, one more thing. Okay, so we do have our base URL ready, and with the assets folders being copied, now we need to show one thing. If I can quickly show you, so there is one piece remaining. The images itself are not getting pulled. You can see over here the images of the product are not getting pulled. So for those, what we are going to do, we are going to open the catalog folder, and within the catalog folder, let me just close this up. Over here we are going to add another action. The action is going to be like action results, get image, and we are going to call id. And what we are going to use over here, we need to get the content route inside this. For that we need the environment. So we need to get the content route path. So what we need to do, we need to inject the environment, hosting environment. So let's see if I can hosting environment. So let me just add this env. Let's just do env is equals to environment. Let me just add the read only variable over here. Let me just generate this, and from this env, let me add the fully qualified name over here as well. For this image, what we are trying to do over here, env dot content route path. Okay, so we are going to get the content route path for the pictures folder. So this is going to be pics, and then we need the path of the actual file. So we are going to use path.combine with the content root, and then we need the ID, and as all these images are a sort of PNG file, so we need to add PNG. Then we need a byte array to be created. So a byte array, let's just create a byte array. This time what we are going to do, system.io .file.read all. So we are going to read all the bytes from the path we got, and we are going to return, instead of returning a view this time, we are returning a file. So you can see first we are adding the byte array, and then we are mentioning what sort of file this is going to be. So image/png. So with this being done, let's see if it works or not. We have and one more attribute I think I need to add over here. Let's just add HTTP GET with mentioning inside with what sort of ID we are receiving. So this is one thing, and let's just add the HTTP route as well. We have not HTTP route, which is going to be a simple just route. And inside that, we need to add controller /pic/ ID. So with this ID being generated, let's see if it works differently or not. Then I'll be quickly showcasing you what actually happens behind the scene. Okay, so you can see we have added action, and these images have been served. So let me just quickly show you the developer console. Let me just clear it up, try sending the request once again. So what is actually happening behind the scene when we are getting these rendered? Against this, a specific URL is being generated, which is called catalog pic ID. So this is going to the server, and the response is sort of a byte array which we are sending with the type being image. So you can see over here the request is in the form of catalog pic1, and the same pictures have been retrieved. So with this being done, let me just figure out and see how long the video till here. Okay, we have reached the 50 minutes mark. So let me just try to fix this previous and next thing, and then we might stop the video here. So let me just see what is the missing part. I'm just pausing the video to figure out to save the time. Okay, so I got that. Basically, this index is disabled, which we are going to use, is being tagged with a specific class. And as we haven't done any CSS classes or addition of any CSS classes being there, so this is not going to work. So as the video have reached around an hour, so I would prefer to stop here, and I'll try to do one thing. So okay, so hopefully you guys have learned something out of this video tutorial. If you think something is missing or something needs to be improved, feel free to leave a comment. If you think any further explanation being needed or anything else needs to be mentioned over here, so please feel free to let me know that I can improve my videos further down the road. And if you think it's adding value to you and you are learning something, feel free to like and subscribe the channel, and do share it in your network. So for the time being, goodbye. Have a nice day. Bye.